Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
Moving forward, large demonstrations break out at airports across the country, including at Detroit's Metro Airport after President Donald Trump places a ban on people entering the United States from predominantly Muslim countries. How the president is responding to the controversy. Coco?
The Roseville Police Department is investigating after a fatal shooting in this quiet neighborhood. What the homeowner's wife says happened at their home here last night.
Plus, Brandon says snow is on the way. All clear right now, but something we need to get prepared for later on today. The weather does top our news on this Monday. Let's get right over to Brandon as he is monitoring the radar. We had a burst of snow to wake up to this morning.
We did, and saw snow all weekend. It was just lake effect snow, and this morning was a little bit different. Provided a coating to an inch or two in a few spots, and it led to some accidents. And as we head through the day today, middle to upper 20s, currently still 19 in Pontiac. We've got the fresh snowpack, and we're going to add to that later tonight. 20 in Howell and Ann Arbor, 24 in Grosse Ile. So temperatures again in the middle upper 20s. We thought we'd get a little more sunshine today, but it's going to be a struggle. Hazy sunshine at best through the afternoon hours. Here's a look at that snowmaker. This is an Alberta Clipper. I think it's the first one of the season for us. Moved very quickly out of the province of Alberta, Canada, and this one is coming across Minnesota and Wisconsin as we speak, probably not until about 10 o'clock tonight. Here's midnight heading into Tuesday and snow totals in case you're curious. This is one model output on what we're going to get, and it looks like the heaviest band of snow will be right in between, we'll say M59 and I-94 for that 3 to maybe 4 inches of snow, a little bit less on the outskirts of that heavy band. So Rhonda, we'll talk more about this snowmaker coming your way, as well as cool week ahead and Super Bowl weekend snow chances. For now, though, if you have to head out the door, we've got your forecast. Find your zone. 4Zone Weather is on the weather tab. Click on Detroit.com.
All right, Brandon, thank you. We are following breaking news this noon. A man convicted of killing a 12-year-old girl 20 years ago has been granted a new trial after new evidence shows he may be innocent. Lamar Monson was arrested back in 1996 for the murder of 12-year-old Christina Brown in Detroit. After a 3-day trial, he was sentenced to at least 30 years in prison for second-degree murder. And then in 2015, new fingerprints were found on the murder weapon, and the case was reopened. Today, Monson was back in court where a judge granted him a new trial. That's scheduled to begin on April 24th. Quite a development there. We are also following breaking news involving the Detroit Medical Center. The Detroit News is reporting that inspectors from state and federal agencies conducted unannounced inspections of medical instruments this morning at Detroit Receiving, Children's Hospital, Harper Hospital, and Karmanos Cancer Institute. This follows earlier problems with dirty surgical instruments at the DMC facilities, but a state investigation ended last month, clearing the hospital system. Local 4 will follow this breaking news and give you updates later today. In the meantime, we are still following this developing story out of Roseville, where police say that a suspected intruder was shot and killed at a house outside of a home last night there in Roseville. It happened at a home at the corner of Chippendale and Marquette Streets. That's where Coco McAvoy joins us now live. And Coco, talk to us about what police are saying about this homeowner.
So, Rhonda, police say the incident all started at this home's detached garage last night. They say the 29-year-old homeowner heard some kind of commotion going on, and the homeowner's wife tells us that her husband then came outside to see what was going on, was met with an intruder claiming to have a weapon, and that's when the shooting took place. But now police are waiting to speak with that husband to hear what he has to say. Evidence techs from the Roseville Police Department scoured the area to get a better idea of what took place at this home.
And if anybody in the public feels they have information that might assist us, they're encouraged to contact the Roseville Police Department by all means.
Police say it started last night when authorities were called on a report of a breaking and entering in the garage. When officers got on scene, they found a 35-year-old man shot outside of the garage unresponsive. Police say the suspected intruder was shot once by the homeowner and was later pronounced dead at the hospital. Still, some questions remain. Was there in fact a break-in? Did the suspected intruder know the homeowner? Questions that are still being investigated by police.
The homeowner that was located by the garage as well was subsequently brought into the station for questioning. He made no statements. He's currently being held pending further investigation of this incident.
There's no word yet on whether or not the homeowner will be charged in this shooting. As you heard, the homeowner is in custody. We're hearing that he's waiting on his lawyer before he says anything about what happened here last night. Reporting live this noon, I'm Coco McAvoy, Local 4.
All right, Coco, thank you. In other news, this noon, 6 people were taken to the hospital after a multi-vehicle crash in Washtenaw County. It happened this morning on M14. All 6 people were taken to the hospital in stable condition for evaluations that were injured in this crash. A Huron Valley ambulance was also involved in the collision. Police are investigating the cause. And switching gears to politics, President Donald Trump says that he will announce his nominee to fill the Supreme Court vacancy caused by the death of Justice Antonin Scalia. That announcement is slated to take place tomorrow at 8 p.m. Meantime, large protests at airports across the country as President Trump places a ban on people from certain countries to come into the United States. You're looking at scenes from San Diego, California, Arizona, and Albany, New York. NBC News correspondent Edward Lawrence explains how now we have 4 federal judges freezing a part of that executive order.
Public reaction to President Donald Trump's executive order came swiftly to airports across the United States because of stories like this.
I have another daughter in Lebanon stuck.
The protection of the nation.
The executive order signed Friday imposed a 90-day ban of people coming into the U.S. from 7 countries specifically, all of them majority Muslim.
Certain countries and certain areas of the world produce people that seek to do harm, and we've got to make sure that those people undergo a certain amount of vetting before they come into our country. So I think there's a big difference between the religion and the location.
Mr. Trump defended the immigration ban this morning in a tweet, stating there's nothing nice about searching for terrorists before they enter our country. Democrats vowed to fight it.
We're going to introduce legislation this afternoon that's going to give Congress and Republicans some options to repeal this executive order.
Late last night, the new head of Homeland Security, John Kelly, tried to clear up confusion in the executive order on green card holders, insisting they will not be blocked from returning to the U.S.
You have an extreme vetting proposal that didn't get the vetting it should have had.
I think we need to be careful. We don't have religious tests in this country.
The ACLU sued this weekend and won a temporary injunction blocking the deportation of those already granted permission to be in this country. The ACLU received $24 million in donations over the weekend to fight the executive order. Normally, it takes in $4 million. Edward Lawrence, NBC News, Washington.
Thank you, Edward. Meantime, over the weekend, the American Civil Liberties Union racked up $24 million in new donations in 1 weekend alone after Trump's immigration ban went into effect. They say normally they get $4 million in an entire year. While President Trump faces backlash over his U.S. immigration ban, a similar proposal is circulating in the UK as citizens petition to ban Mr. Trump from their country. The petition was created on Saturday. It has now gathered 1.3 million signatures, making it the second most signed petition on record in the UK. The British Parliament has almost made it clear they disagree with President Trump's immigration ban. Here in downtown Detroit, Senator Debbie Stabenow announced new legislation that will cut taxes for companies moving jobs back to America.
You want to move away from the United States, you are on your own. We're not paying for it. But if you want to come back, we will gladly not only let you write off the cost of coming back, but give you a 20% tax credit to support the cost of coming back to the United States.
Along with the tax breaks, the new legislation would also end a loophole that rewards companies who send jobs overseas. And this just in, a court clerk confirms the names of suspects in last night's Canadian mosque attack in Quebec. They are Alexander Bisonanti and Mohammed El Khalhir. Meantime, President Trump just called the Canadian Prime Minister to express condolences. The shooting during evening prayers left 6 people dead in an attack that Canadian's Prime Minister is calling an act of terrorism. CTV's Kevin Gallagher has more on the arrests that were made.
The 2 suspects that have been arrested, police are now saying that they're in their late 20s, early 30s, and both not known previously to investigators. What we do know is that last night, just before 8 o'clock, they came in, or 2 men allegedly came into a mosque in Quebec City, opening fire. 6 people are dead. 5 remain critically injured in hospital. 2 of those people are in intensive care.
Quebec City today has been hit by terrorism. Hard to believe in such a peaceful, beautiful city that such a thing could happen.
Today, nearby where this mosque is, in Sainte-Foy, Quebec, a little suburb of Quebec City, there are ongoing police raids in a small neighborhood nearby. We're still waiting to find out more about the identities of these 2 suspects that have been arrested. One last night was arrested near the mosque after the shooting had occurred. Another was captured by police some distance away, closer to downtown Quebec City. People here are eager and on edge to learn more. Now, police say that the situation is under control, but many in the neighborhood are still concerned. Kevin Gallagher reporting for NBC News from Quebec City.
Thank you, Kevin. What a tragedy there. Still to come, big news. General Motors and Honda are making a big announcement about a collaboration, what it could mean for jobs in Detroit just ahead. Plus, expanding service, DDOT going where they haven't gone before, how it could help your travels. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Today, the teen accused of shooting and killing 13-year-old Marjay Watkins appeared in court. And in court today, the judge determined that the 14-year-old defendant is competent to stand trial. The teen is being charged as a juvenile in connection with a deadly shooting that took place in a home back in December of 2016. The defendant will appear back in court in February. The city of Detroit's bus system, which was once the target of widespread complaints from riders, is now launching another expansion of its services. Starting today, DDOT is expanding 24-hour service to the Michigan Avenue, East Jefferson, Van Dyke, and Lafayette Boulevard routes. 3 more routes are being added, direct express buses to link neighborhoods with major job centers, and riders on the Michigan, East Jefferson, and Greenfield bus lines will see more frequent service with shorter waits between buses.
You'll have an opportunity to ask questions of our executive.
But possibly the biggest transportation story of the day comes from General Motors and Honda. And the companies plan to establish the first hydrogen fuel cell system manufacturing plant. The plant will be built in Brownstown, just south of Detroit. The 2 auto behemoths said that the facility will create roughly 100 new jobs, and the new engines would help save drivers money at the pump.
This foundation of our outstanding teamwork will now take us to the stage of joint mass production of a fuel cell system that will help each company create new value for our customers in fuel cell vehicles of the future.
Nice to see the 2 companies working together. The plant is slated to open in the next few years with mass production scheduled to begin in the year 2020. So to come here on your Monday morning, big day for Shinola. Tomorrow, the retailer is going to break ground on an exciting new addition. How you can be a part of the growth here in downtown Detroit. Brandon?
We'll be shoveling out a little bit tomorrow morning. Not a whole lot happening right here, right now. Our first Alberta Clipper of the season, bringing some fluffy snow. We'll talk about accumulations and time frame with you, and the entire week ahead, including Super Bowl Sunday weekend snow chances coming up.
family secrets exposed.
I don't want this information out there.
What we discovered on this website right here, surprising information that could make you a target for identity thieves.
Your home address, birth date, relatives' personal information, it's all out there, and it's free.
And they have your name, they have your address, they have other information about you. You need to protect that.
We'll show you the one simple thing you can do right now to protect yourself and your personal information. It's a Help Me Hank security alert tonight at 11.
I don't know if I'm in the majority, looking forward to a little snow coming our way. I realize the inconvenience, and tomorrow, Rhonda raised her hand. You're with me? Okay, good. So it's a majority ruling on this show anyway. It's going to provide a nice blanket for us, clean up some of the brown areas, some of the dirty spots, although we've had some snow through the weekend that did a little bit of that. 23 degrees out there right now, a little gray. If it's going to be gray, why not snow? It's been days and days since we've seen really any sun. Calm winds, but still have a feels-like temperature of 17 as your wind chill. Getting up to around 27, 28 degrees today, mostly cloudy most of the day, cool and dry during the daylight hours, and by about 10 o'clock tonight, the snow starts coming in. Light and fluffy snow we call 1 to 4 inches. What's up with that range? Well, there will be some areas that get on that lesser amount, maybe the extreme north part of our north zone, and also perhaps close to the Ohio border, with the lion's share of it coming right into the middle where we see this dark shade of blue here. 3-4 inches or so. We'll call it mainly between M59 to the north and I-94 to the south. That's that corridor we're expecting the majority of the snow, although it's not necessarily the setup that will take shape. More and more of our computer models are in line with this, so it'll be a quick moving system late tonight through the morning hours, and you can see this thing getting going here. Alberta Clipper just tells you where it came from, and the Clipper part of it means that it does move pretty quickly. Here's a look at our computer model and timing things out here. Nothing to worry about during the day. Still in Wisconsin, crossing over Lake Michigan. There's 10 o'clock tonight. That dark blue just hinting at a decent little swath of snow right in the center of this system. These Alberta Clippers come from a cold region. They don't have a ton of moisture with them. It's that snow that sort of stacks the flakes on top of one another, and it's really easy to move around on the driveway. You can use the broom, perhaps a leaf blower if you want to get creative, but it still will be slick and slippery around tomorrow morning. We'll get some hit or miss snow showers throughout the day as well, but again, the bulk of it, those 2 to 3 inches for the most part, coming overnight into the early morning hours. And on Wednesday and Thursday, the winds are going to start whipping up a little bit, which could introduce a few scattered lake effect snow showers. We'll keep an eye on that. And Super Bowl Sunday, Rhonda, some afternoon snow showers we'll keep an eye on.
All right, we'll have some coating out there. It'll look pretty. Thank you, Brandon. Well, big news in downtown Detroit. Tomorrow, crews are going to be breaking ground at the site of the new Joint Shinola Bedrock Detroit Hotel. The hotel is going to be built in the 1400 block of Woodward Avenue in downtown Detroit. So the landmarks would be, it's between Campus Martius Park and Grand Circus Park, where all those new retail shops have popped up. The project is co-funded by Shinola and Bedrock, both Detroit-based companies, of course. The groundbreaking ceremony is open to the public, and it kicks off at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Very exciting. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Before we go, we have something to make you smile. It's an adorable video of a 4-year-old and her dad singing "You've Got a Friend in Me" from Toy Story. Check it out.
You got friends in me. You got a friend in me. You got troubles.
I've watched it 4 or 5 times.
You can find it on